Hey guys, and welcome back to Rathlin Island. Day 6 of mid-spring. And we've been hard at work today, putting in some wheat in, I think it was field 9. And we're going to go top off our seeder here at the bulk seed store. We're going to run back and drive back here to the farm, cow farm, and pick up our T7. And then we're going to run down to field 10, where I left the slurry digestate spreader, or applicator. And we're going to bring it back here to the BGA to fill up, because it is empty. And we're going to put some digestate on field 9 today. We learned a little bit more about the compaction mod off camera. So I was thinking that the compaction mod was additive, or what I describe as additive, in that if you have a field with 0 compaction and you drive over that field with a low compaction tractor or implement, like this particular tractor that did our seeding, is listed as causing light compaction, and the planter here, or the seeder, is listed as causing no compaction. Well, I figured, okay, I'm going to have a light compacted state on my field after I seed it, which I do. It is a light pink in color. Then I thought, well, if I then take and apply fertilizer to that field with a tractor that also causes light compaction, then I would move from a light compacted field to a medium compacted field, because I have caused a light compaction state. That does not appear to be true. So the way it seems to be working, and we won't know until we get around to harvest, I would say, because our harvester is the only thing that we own that is listed as causing medium compaction. So I think the way it is working is, once you are in a light compacted state, that is where the field will stay if you only drive on it with no compaction or light compaction equipment and implements. If you drive over the field in a medium compaction implement, and your field state is in a light compaction state, then I think it will move to a darker pink. But again, we haven't really tested that because we haven't gotten our harvester out, and to some degree I don't really feel like driving our harvester over a freshly seeded field just to try out a theory. We're going to park this here, and we're going to use this here in a couple days to put some soybeans in the ground. But for now, we're just going to park here, right here. Okay, so let's take a look at the PDA here, and let's move over to our compaction. See, so you can see here that we have fully fertilized field 10, and we have field 9 in a partially fertilized state. If we go over here to our, now I can move it. Go over here to our turn on needs plowing, which now also shows the compaction levels. See, field 10 has the same color of compaction as field 9. I've already fertilized field 10 with the slurry applicator, but I haven't done that on field 10. As you can see, the fertilization color is the same as field 8. When we get down to the slurry applicator, you're going to see that the slurry applicator is listed as causing medium compaction or light compaction, as does this tractor here. This causes light compaction. So, that is where I'm getting the idea that we're not additive in our compaction, meaning that if we drive over the field 3 times with a light compaction set of equipment, that we will end up with a heavy compacted field. It's simply, we get to a light state and we don't move beyond the light compaction state until we use something that causes a heavier compaction state. Now, if we, obviously if we drive over the field with medium compaction, then I think we're going to get medium compaction. If we drive over the field with light compaction after that, we won't roll back to light compaction. We'll stay at the medium level until we cultivate with a cultivator or plow that will do heavy soil changing. Got light compaction there, and our Milo 2 module 2 causes light compaction also. Ahead and head on over to the digestate plant. Now, something else that I've noticed here. You see I'm going 11 miles an hour. I've got the gas all the way to the floor. If I'm connected to this particular spreader, the best I can do is 11 miles an hour. I don't understand why. If I unhook, I can obviously drive the tractor faster. I'm not applying anything, so I'm not restricted by the working speed of this particular implement. So I don't know why or where or how this began. I'm gonna put air in the tires and see if maybe somehow the deflated tires is what's reducing my speed here. But I want to go a little bit faster than 11 miles an hour, specifically because I'm going to have to go fill this thing up a few times to get that field done. So it's a bit odd. Not really sure what's going on here. But since we have learned that, like I said, it's not an additive state of compaction, we can inflate our tires a bit more. We don't have to leave them squashy flat. As long as we don't move up to a medium compaction, then we're good. All right. Now, this is the only implement that I've seen a reduction in speed on, so I'm not sure what's going on here. There we go. All right. Let's see if we go ahead and put air in our tractor tires. If that changes anything. So to some degree, my thought process on this mod now is a bit different than it was when I was thinking that it was additive. When I was thinking it was additive, I'm thinking, man, you're just going to be a slave to worrying about compaction and everything. Because if if you plow, all right, you're going to remove all your compaction. Then you fertilize, or maybe you plow and then you cultivate. Okay, so possibly the and that should leave you with a 0 compacted field, right? Then you come by and maybe you apply fertilizer, and maybe the act of doing that with a manure spreader slurry applicator or a sprayer, with row crop tires, well, that would then put a level of compaction on the field. Then you come around and seed the field, which could put, depending on the size of seeder, the size of the tractor pulling it, that could put compaction on the field. And if that seeds and fertilizes, so now you're up to 2 stages. Then you come through later, after the crop has grown a little bit. Hey, look! Oh, I didn't even notice it. We're going faster now. All I did... Oh, that is another interesting element then. That deflating the tires could reduce your driving speed, apparently. So, you get some growth, and then you run through the field with a sprayer using row crop tires, which would have a narrow ground pad contact patch, which would in theory then cause compaction. So, you know, my initial thought process was, man, you know, it would be hard to not end up with a field that had like medium to heavy compaction just in normal field work. Unless you were super lucky and you had yourself a field that was you know, that was really hard, well, not hard, but dry as far as ground moisture goes. But and then obviously roll over it with a harvester, which would probably be medium compaction at best because of its size. Then you're talking about a really compacted field to have to plow and everything to get ready for the next harvest. But with this being not additive, then it's a bit more manageable. You know, if you only ever use light equipment, then your equipment would probably have a state of no compaction or heavy or light compaction only. Right, you know, see, now we are up to medium because we now have almost 30,000 liters of 30,000. How many is it? We got 15,000 liters of digestate in the tank here. So now we are at a medium state. We're at light and medium. Okay. Well, let's jump in here and see if we can't lower the air pressure in these tires to get us to a light state. I do need to admit that when I did field 10, I did it with hired help. I set the hired help to buy or fill digestate directly from the BGA, and I only put about 1,000 liters of digestate in the tank here. So the tank itself had a very light weight to it as compared to now with close to 16,000 liters. And I basically had the hired help automatically fill this through a magical fill pipe from the BGA, and that's how I was able to do that other field with light compaction only. So that's two interesting things that we've learned today. One, we've learned that the lower air pressure in a implement can affect the speed at which you can pull it. I don't know if it was because the lower air pressure was causing more drag on the wheels, and as a result this tractor didn't have the horsepower to pull it faster. But at the same point, I've got horsepower to pull it full speed when it's full of digestate. So I don't know, maybe it was reducing the operating speed of the tractor and implement to, in theory, reduce the risk of damaging the tires at low pressures. Hard to say. Alright, let's see if we can't get this down to a light action. That would be awesome if we could. If we can't, then I guess we'll test our theory now. I thought we'd have to wait until until harvest, but maybe we'll test our theory now. All right, let's lower this one some and see if we can't get it without going completely flat. Look at those tires down there, deformed. Shrinking our tires. Alright, well, work. Alright, well that didn't work. Oh, look! Now we are back to light. Okay, that did work. But now we're going to be stuck at... man, look at that. Oh, talk about flat. That is not going to be very healthy on these tires. Oh, the tractor, the front's not bad because the front doesn't have any weight on it. Man, that is not going to be healthy for these tires. Next thing you know, we'll have mottled tire damage as a result of running our tires with too low of air pressure and too heavy weight, and our maintenance costs will be higher. That would be awful. Now look, we're back to 11 miles an hour. I got my foot on the floor. Can't go any quicker than 11. All right. As we peter on down here to the field, let's see what the plan of action is for the next couple days. Had the forecast up earlier. We got rain in the forecast for tomorrow and for Wednesday. Tomorrow we move into late spring. Got ourselves 811 sheep. And let's take a look. We're getting ourselves a sheep every hour and 20 minutes. At this point, which is pretty ridiculous. And we've just topped everybody off. Still using 30,000 liters of hay every 3 days. And, you know, that is 15 bales of hay every 3 days to keep those jokers fed. But they are spitting out the wool. I'll tell you that. We had a no room for wool condition this morning. After we went to bed last night, we forgot to empty our wool pallet area, and we had a condition where we ran out of space. So we've already got seven full pallets of wool up at the wool farm, sheep farm. Even though we sold all that wool the other day. All right, so let's toggle this over to soil composition. Let's toggle off the fertilization state and turn on the need plowing state. Okay. So we are on field 9, and what we should see is we shouldn't see the pink get any darker, even though we are applying digestate to the field here. I have to obviously wait for the PDA to update down there in the corner. I'm going to try to move along here as fast as we can. Not dilly-dally with the applicators down. Because of the amount of, well, the flow rate on this digestate is crazy fast. Seriously need a ton of digestate to fertilize your fields. Alright, so there it refreshed, and you can see we do not have a darker pink state at all. I've got half a mind to fill the air up in these tires on the way back and do a load with air in the tires and see how that changes the PDA here. Just in the purpose of experimentation. Got half of a mind to try that out, as opposed to waiting until, you know, harvest. So I think we'll do that, actually. And as we saw at full air pressure, these two things were giving us low compaction on an empty state. So at some point while we are emptying this thing, it should stop causing additional compaction, which would also be a rather interesting thing to witness on the PDA itself also. So it looks like we're gonna get one round around the field, I guess, and a little more. We should still, just for the purpose of attempting to model some level of realism, we should probably still try to plan out where we are, how we're going to apply this to the field so that we end up here by the gate as opposed to over there on the far side of the field. Kind of like painting. You don't want to paint yourself into a corner. Probably don't want to do our field work into a corner. The point where we are, you know, driving over the newly seeded and newly fertilized field with our empty implement at the end of the process here. Let's try to square this corner off. There we are. Oh, here we go. The wheel turned. Well, hope everybody had a happy 4th of July. Last video should have been on the July 4th, and this video should be coming out on Friday after July 4th. It should be July 6th at this point. And hope everybody had a good 4th of July. You are in the United States. It was kind of an odd 4th of July. It's one of those where that falls right in the middle of the week, a national holiday. So it's kind of an interesting deal. How many of you all, you know, just took the week off, took 4 days, and had yourself a nice 7-day holiday or you know, vacation from work? Or you could take 2 days off and work Monday and Tuesday and just call it on Wednesday and just not come back till the following Monday. Or, you know, you have yourself a you take Monday and Tuesday off and you come back Thursday after the July 4th holiday to close the week out. So it's one of those interesting deals where the holiday splits up the week, and as a result, you could have some pretty interesting work schedules that day in the office. Once again, we are destined to go 11 miles an hour with our depressed tires. So I'm going to spare you guys the agony of driving back to the farm at 11 miles an hour and then driving and filling up the digestate. I'll be back with you once we are fully loaded and fully air pressured. Alright guys, so we have, I think we managed to miss about half hour of game time. As you can see, it's kind of getting a little dark, clouds are rolling in, but we have got ourselves a full loaded digestate, and look at our tires, we are fully inflated again. we are going to cause some additional compaction on our field. But this is all good for the sake of science and testing of mods. This mod is still, as of this recording, a work in progress. Over at the Realmus GitHub site. I'm not permitted to link it to you, though, so that's about all I can tell you. If you can figure out where to get it, then you're more than welcome to work on it and try it out. So you can see here our tractor is indeed listed as causing medium compaction now, as well as our applicator. So let's get this out here on the field and see what kind of damage we do. First thing, let's try to square this area off here. Of course, we don't have ground deformation, so we're not going to be able to show like little divots in the ground where our tires are driving. That would be pretty cool if that could be added. If FS17 had true ground deformation, that it would show that would be pretty cool. So refreshed, but I didn't see it change the color at all. I have to go to the escape menu and see if we have the color changing there. I've been trying to mute my mic when I've got to clear my sinuses, so I'm hoping I'm catching all those in post-edit if for some reason I manage not to get the mic muted. I want to apologize if you are hearing me clear my nose. Alright. Let's see what we got here. Oh. Not seeing a darker pink. So that's interesting. We still are showing ourselves at, now we're at light and we're at medium with trailer. So we should still be, causing a compaction state. Interesting. I'll report that back to the Realmus Slack channel. See what they say. With respect to the PDA not changing. I can show the fertilization level, show that we've got part of the field at 2 and part of the field at 3 states, and then I can state that we were using the Joskin, the large Joskin digestate spreader, and it was listed as causing medium compaction, but where we were driving on the field and obviously getting it to a 3rd fertilization state, we're not getting the color change that we were expecting. And at some point we're not going to get any color change because this will get lighter to where it doesn't cause any compaction. See, I'm now choosing to apply the digestate on this side of the field and work my way over towards the gate. Whereas if I wasn't really worried about compaction, I would just run it whichever way I wanted to, and whichever way we ended on the field is where we ended. So tomorrow, I think, while it's raining, I'm going to run some produce across the sound and make several runs of milk across. Not had a chance to take any milk across the way for a few game days, and it's starting to fill up that our milk tank a little bit more than we would like it to be. And with the temperatures warming up, we don't want that sitting in the chilled tank. Our tank does have the capability of chilling the milk, but we still don't need to be keeping it out any longer than we absolutely have to. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and finish this field off, and until next time, happy farming.